Amira's fingers froze on the kitchen counter as Anaya's hands pressed into her back, the massage starting innocently enough after a long day at the office. But then Anaya's touch lingered too long, her breath warm against Amira's neck, and in a heartbeat, she leaned in, pressing her lips softly against Amira's skin. A kiss that wasn't accidental, wasn't filial. The world tilted, Amira's heart slamming in her chest as she whipped around, eyes wide with shock and something deeper, more terrifying. Recognition of a desire she'd buried for years. Amira stepped back, her mind racing. How had they gotten here? She was the stepmother, the one who had married Anaya's father, David, 5 years ago, blending into this picture-perfect suburban life in Seattle. David, a successful architect, had brought stability after Anaya's mother left them when she was just a teen. Amira, at 33 back then, had been the fresh start, the organized marketing executive who cooked family dinners and attended PTA meetings. But now, at 38, standing in their modern kitchen with its granite counters and stainless steel appliances, she felt the facade cracking. Anaya didn't pull away immediately. Her dark eyes, so much like her mother's from the photos David kept hidden, held a storm of emotions: defiance, fear, longing. "Amira, I can't pretend anymore," she whispered, her voice trembling but resolute. At 22, fresh out of college with a degree in psychology, Anaya had always been the introspective one, the daughter who challenged norms at family gatherings. She'd come out as lesbian 2 years ago, during a tense Thanksgiving dinner, and while David had nodded supportively, Amira had felt a pang she couldn't name. Inside, Amira's thoughts churned like a whirlwind. This can't be happening. She's my stepdaughter. What would David say? What would society say? The kiss replayed in her mind, soft and electric, awakening memories of her own college days, fleeting crushes on women she'd dismissed as phases. She'd chosen the safe path. Marriage to a kind man, a blended family, the American dream. But now that dream felt like a cage. If I acknowledge this, everything shatters. But ignoring it, that might shatter me. David was due home any minute from his late meeting. Amira glanced at the clock, her pulse thundering. "Anaya, this is wrong. We're family," she said, her voice steadier than she felt. But even as she spoke, doubt crept in. Family? She'd never felt fully part of this one. Always the outsider stepping into the void left by Anaya's biological mother. Anaya had resisted her at first, teenage rebellion masking deeper wounds, but over time their bond had deepened, late-night talks about dreams, shared runs in the park, a closeness that now felt dangerously intimate. Anaya's face crumpled, but she stood her ground. "Family? That's what you call it? Dad treats you like a trophy, Amira. I've seen how he dismisses your ideas, how he expects you to play the perfect wife. And me? I'm just the kid he parades for his conservative clients. But with you, it's different. You're the only one who really sees me." Her words hung heavy, laced with truth Amira had ignored. David's traditional views, church on Sundays, family values preached at barbecues, had always clashed with Amira's quieter progressivism, but she'd compromised for love. Or what she thought was love. The front door clicked open. David called out, "Honey, I'm home. Traffic was a nightmare." Amira's stomach dropped. She smoothed her blouse, forcing a smile as he entered the kitchen, oblivious to the tension. Anaya mumbled a greeting and slipped upstairs, leaving Amira to compose herself. That night, as she lay beside David, his snores filling the room, her mind raced. What if Anaya's right? What if this feeling isn't wrong, just forbidden? The kiss had ignited a fire, and extinguishing it might mean losing herself entirely. The next morning, over coffee, David announced a family trip to the cabin in the Cascades, a tradition to reconnect. Amira nodded mechanically, but inside, turmoil brewed. Anaya avoided her eyes across the table, but the air crackled with unspoken words. As they packed, Amira caught Anaya in the hallway, her hand brushing hers accidentally. Or was it? "We need to talk," Amira whispered. Anaya nodded, her expression a mix of hope and dread. At the cabin, surrounded by towering pines and the scent of earth, the isolation amplified everything. David fished by the lake, leaving Amira and Anaya to hike alone. The trail wound uphill, their footsteps sinking in rhythm. "Why did you do it?" Amira finally asked, her voice echoing in the quiet woods. Anaya stopped, turning to face her. Because I've been in love with you for years. Watching you with Dad, it kills me. You're trapped, Amira. We both are. Amira's breath caught. In love. The word pierced her defenses. She'd felt it too. The pull during movie nights, the jealousy when Anaya dated other girls. But admitting it meant betrayal. David had given her everything. Security, a home, acceptance from his circle. Leaving that for this. Society would label it scandalous, immoral. Her own family, conservative immigrants from the Middle East, had drilled in the importance of propriety. What would they think? A woman loving her stepdaughter? It's not just taboo, it's destruction. Yet, as Anaya's eyes searched hers, Amira felt a crack in her resolve. This could ruin us all, she said, but her hand reached out, fingers intertwining briefly before pulling away. The hike back was silent, charged with possibility and peril. That evening, around the fire, David shared stories of his youth, oblivious to the glances exchanged. Amira's mind screamed. Choose safety or risk everything. The decision loomed, a precipice she couldn't avoid. As night fell, Anaya knocked on Amira's door while David slept. I can't take the silence, she said softly. They sat on the porch, stars overhead. Anaya poured out her heart. The confusion of her sexuality in a judgmental world, the pressure to conform. Dad wants me to settle down with a nice guy, but that's not me. And you're the one who makes me feel alive. Amira listened, her own secrets bubbling up, suppressed attractions, a marriage more companionable than passionate. I married your father because he was safe, Amira admitted. But safe isn't enough anymore. The words escaped before she could stop them. Anaya leaned closer, but Amira held back. One step, and there's no return. The conversation stretched into the night, weaving vulnerability with fear. By dawn, Amira knew. Ignoring this would hollow her out, but pursuing it meant war. With David, with society, with herself. Back in Seattle, the tension escalated. David noticed the distance, attributing it to work stress. But Amira's thoughts fixated on Anaya. A stolen moment in the laundry room. Anaya's hand on her arm, a whisper of I need you. Amira pulled away, but the seed was planted. What price for truth? She began questioning everything. Her role as wife, stepmother, woman. The internal battle raged. Duty versus desire, conformity versus authenticity. One evening, Anaya confronted her again. We can't keep pretending. Tell me to stop and I will. Amira's heart ached. Stop. Or start. In that moment, she chose not to push away. Their hands clasped, a silent promise amid the storm brewing. But guilt gnawed. David doesn't deserve this. Anaya's future. Ruined? The path ahead was fraught, but the pull was irresistible. The days blurred into a haze of secrecy and stolen glances. Amira found herself lingering in the hallway outside Anaya's room. Her mind replaying that first kiss like a forbidden mantra. This is madness, she thought, staring at her reflection in the bathroom mirror. Lines of worry etching deeper into her face. David, ever the optimist, suggested couples therapy, sensing her distraction but misattributing it to midlife doubts. We're a team, Amira, he said over dinner, his hand covering hers. She forced a smile, but inside, betrayal twisted like a knife. Anaya, meanwhile, wrestled with her own demons. At her new job as a counselor at a local LGBTQ+ center, she saw reflections of her turmoil in clients' stories. Young women hiding their truths from families, facing rejection. Am I just like them? Or worse, dragging Amira down with me? She confided in no one, the weight pressing heavier. One afternoon, she texted Amira. Meet me at the park after work. We can't ignore this. Amira hesitated, fingers hovering over the reply, but curiosity and longing won. The park bench overlooked Lake Washington, boats dotting the water under a clear sky. Anaya arrived first, her pixie-cut windswept eyes searching. When Amira sat beside her, the air thickened. I know this is wrong on so many levels, Anaya began, her voice low. Society sees us as family, but blood doesn't bind us. Dad married you when I was 17. You're not my mom. Amira nodded, the logic piercing her defenses. Not blood, but still. Taboo. The conversation delved deep. Anaya's past relationships, fleeting and unfulfilling. Amira's suppressed identity, buried under societal expectations. As they talked, a jogger passed, glancing curiously. Amira flinched, paranoia setting in. What if someone recognizes us? David's colleagues are neighbors? The fear was real. Seattle's progressive facade hid pockets of judgment, especially in their affluent suburb. Anaya reached for her hand, but Amira pulled back. We can't be seen like this. Hurt flashed in Anaya's eyes. So what? We hide forever? Or end it before it begins? The question hung, forcing Amira to confront her cowardice. That night, David surprised her with tickets to a Broadway show in the city. A gesture of reconnection. Guilt surged as they dressed, Amira in a sleek black dress, him in a suit. In the theater, amid applause, her mind wandered to Anaya alone at home. She's paying the price too: isolation, uncertainty. After the show, David kissed her cheek. I love you, you know that? She murmured agreement, but the words tasted like ash. The escalation came swiftly. Anaya, frustrated by the limbo, began pulling away, spending more time at work. Amira felt the void acutely, her days at the office a blur of meetings and unspoken regrets. Have I lost her already? One evening, she cornered Anaya in the kitchen. This can't go on like this. Anaya's response was sharp. Then make a choice. Dad or me? The ultimatum stung, highlighting the impossible divide. Amira's internal conflict intensified. Choosing Anaya means destroying David, the man who rebuilt my life after my divorce. But staying means suffocating my truth. She sought solace in anonymous online forums, reading stories of women in similar binds. Stepfamily romances, societal backlash, personal redemption. Some ended in happiness, others in ruin. Which will be ours? David's suspicion grew. He found a cryptic text on Amira's phone. Anaya's miss you. And confronted her. What's going on with you two? You're acting strange. Amira lied smoothly. Just girl talk. But the deception ate at her. Anaya, overhearing, later whispered, we have to tell him. Hiding is killing us. Amira shook her head. Not yet. It would break him. The breaking point arrived at a family barbecue. David's sister, Aunt Clara, a staunch conservative, grilled Anaya about her lifestyle. When are you finding a nice boy? Anaya snapped back. I'm gay, Aunt Clara. Deal with it. Tension rippled through the guests. Amira defended her. Let her be. David shot her a look, later pulling her aside. You're too lenient. She needs guidance. The words ignited Amira's anger. Guidance? To deny herself? Alone with Anaya afterward, emotions boiled over. I can't watch you shrink for them, Anaya said. Their embrace was brief, comforting, but charged. Amira pulled away, heart pounding. This is the line. Cross it, and everything changes. That night, she lay awake, decisions crystallizing. I have to choose truth, whatever the cost. The fallout began subtly. Amira started therapy, claiming stress, but really unpacking her feelings. The therapist's questions probed deep. What do you want, Amira? The answer terrified her, Anaya. Meanwhile, Anaya faced her own pressures. Friends questioning her distance, work demanding focus. Is love worth the isolation? She wondered, staring at photos of them together. A clandestine meeting at a coffee shop outside town. Neutral ground. If we do this, Amira said, we lose everything. Home, family, reputation. Anaya nodded. But we gain ourselves. The pact was sealed with words, not touches, but the commitment felt binding. Back home, the charade continued, but cracks widened. David noticed Amira's late nights, Anaya's evasiveness. One rainy afternoon, Anaya confessed to a coworker about her feelings. Anonymous, but the relief was palpable. Word spread subtly, rumors brewing. Amira panicked when a neighbor asked probing questions. The net is closing. Her mind raced with scenarios. Divorce, scandal, exile. Is this the price of authenticity? Damage to David, judgment from society? The confrontation loomed. David found a journal entry Amira had left out. Vague but incriminating. What's this about forbidden love? He demanded. Amira's world spun. Time's up. She glanced at Anaya, who stood in the doorway, face pale. The truth hovered, ready to explode. The living room felt like a courtroom as David paced, journal in hand. Explain this, Amira. Now. His voice cracked, betrayal etching his features. Anaya stepped forward, her resolve stealing. It's me, Dad. It's us. The words detonated, silence following like shrapnel. David's face drained of color, eyes darting between them. Us? What the hell does that mean? Amira's throat tightened, thoughts screaming. This is it, the destruction I feared. She sat on the couch, hands clasped to stop the trembling. David, I didn't plan this. It just happened. But even to her, it sounded weak. Anaya Boulder continued. We've fallen in love. It's real, Dad. Not some fling. David's laugh was bitter, disbelieving. Love. You're her stepdaughter. This is sick. Illegal? No, but immoral as hell. The argument erupted, voices rising. David hurled accusations. You've brainwashed her, Amira. Taking advantage of a vulnerable kid. Anaya fired back. I'm not a kid. And she's not taking advantage. You never really saw us. Me as gay, her as unhappy. Amira interjected, voice steady despite the chaos. I was unhappy, David. Our marriage. It's been comfortable but not passionate. The admission hung, a final blow. David slumped into a chair, head in hands. His pain is my fault, Amira thought, guilt flooding her. He'd been a good husband, provider, companion, but not her soulmate. Society's script had trapped them all. Him in traditional roles, her in denial, Anaya in rebellion. Now the unraveling exposed the flaws. How long, he whispered. Months. Years. Anaya shook her head. It started recently, but the feelings. Longer. The night dragged, tears and shouts intermingling. David stormed out, slamming the door, leaving Amira and Anaya in the wreckage. We did it, Anaya said, exhausted but defiant. Amira nodded, but doubt crept in. At what cost? His heartbreak, our isolation? They didn't touch, the moment too raw, but the bond felt forged in fire. Word spread like wildfire. Aunt Clara called the next day, outraged. This is an abomination. Think of the family name. David's parents disowned the idea, threatening to cut ties. Amira's own family, reached via frantic calls, reacted with horror. You've shamed us, her mother said, voice laced with disappointment. Shame? For loving? Amira pondered, the cultural clash hitting hard. Her heritage demanding conformity, her heart demanding freedom. At work, whispers followed Amira. Colleagues side-eyed her, rumors of the scandal circulating. She lost a client, the excuse flimsy but telling. Society's judgment is swift. Anaya faced backlash at the center. Some supported, others distanced, fearing association. You're brave, a client said, but bravery felt like burden. Is this awakening worth the wounds? David filed for divorce swiftly, the papers arriving like a death knell. In mediation, his eyes avoided hers. I want you out, he said flatly. Amira agreed, the house holding too many ghosts. Anaya moved with her, to a small apartment downtown. Freedom at last, but tinged with loss. We chose each other. Anaya reminded her during the move, boxes stacked high. Amira smiled faintly. But did we choose right? The mending was slow. Therapy sessions unpacked layers. Amira's internalized homophobia. Anaya's daddy issues amplified by the betrayal. You both paid dearly, the therapist noted. Amira reflected. David lost his family. We lost our innocence. Friends divided. Some rallied, others ghosted. A former neighbor spat, disgusting. In a store, the sting lingering. Highs mixed with lows. Their first real date at a quiet cafe felt liberating. Laughter flowed, hands touching openly. But shadows loomed. David's custody threats, though empty since Anaya was adult. He wants to punish us, Anaya said. Amira nodded, the moral quandary gnawing. Was our love selfish? Did we owe him loyalty over happiness? Society's pressure mounted. Online forums debated their story, anonymous leaks turning them into cautionary tales. Step-family affairs destroy lives, one post read. Amira scrolled late nights, questioning. Are we monsters or pioneers? Anaya, stronger outwardly, broke down privately. I miss Dad. Did I ruin everything? Amira held her, whispering reassurances, but doubt echoed. A turning point. David's unexpected call. Meet me, he said tersely. At a neutral park, he looked haggard. I don't understand, but I see your pain. No forgiveness, but a truce. Anaya's my daughter. I won't cut her off. Tears fell as Anaya hugged him tentatively. Amira watched from afar, relief mixed with sorrow. Healing starts, but scars remain. Yet challenges persisted. Amira's job suffered. She quit, starting freelance amid uncertainty. Anaya's center promoted her, validation amid chaos. Their relationship deepened, built on honesty, but tested by external forces. A protest at a pride event. Supporters cheered, but counter-protesters jeered. This is our reality, love amid hate. Internal battles raged on. Amira woke from nightmares of judgment, questioning her choices. Right or wrong? The line blurs. Anaya journaled her thoughts. Freedom's price is steep, but worth it? Their dialogues grew profound, dissecting ethics, societal norms. As months passed, resilience built. They attended support groups, hearing similar stories, women defying odds for love. Inspiration fueled them. But David's remarriage announcement stung. A reminder of the ripple effects. He's moving on, Anaya said, voice wavering. Amira comforted. So must we. The climax brewed in a family reunion invite, from David's side, surprisingly. Come if you want, the note read. Anaya hesitated. Face them or hide? Amira's mind whirled. Confrontation could heal or destroy anew. They decided to go, stepping into the lion's den. The reunion unfolded in a sprawling backyard in the suburbs, string lights twinkling as dusk fell. David's family milled about, conversations halting as Amira and Anaya arrived hand in hand. Whispers rippled. That's them. Aunt Clara approached first, lips pursed. Didn't expect you here. Anaya squared her shoulders. We're family, aren't we? The word hung ironically, challenging the hypocrisy. David nodded from afar, his new girlfriend by his side. A safe, conventional choice. Amira felt a pang. He's healing his way. Inside, she battled nerves. This is our test. Face judgment or flee. Anaya squeezed her hand, a silent anchor. As the evening progressed, confrontations arose. A cousin cornered Amira. How could you betray Uncle David? It's unnatural. Amira's response was measured. Love isn't betrayal if the marriage was empty. And unnatural? Love is love. Anaya faced her own interrogations. You've hurt your father deeply, Uncle said. She retorted. Hiding hurt me more. Should I live a lie for your comfort? The exchanges were tense, drama unfolding in hushed tones. Amira watched Anaya shine, pride swelling amid the pain. She's stronger than I knew. But the toll showed. Anaya's eyes glistened with unshed tears later. David pulled them aside midway. This is hard for everyone. His voice softened. But seeing you too. It's real, isn't it? Anaya nodded. It is, Dad. No full absolution, but acknowledgement, a crack in the wall. Amira added. We're sorry for the pain, but not for the truth. David sighed. Truth has a price. The words echoed her thoughts. The night ended with uneasy truces. Some relatives distanced, others offered tentative olive branches. Driving home, Anaya reflected. We survived. Amira agreed, but internally questioned. Survival or victory? The wounds linger. Their apartment felt like sanctuary, but the world outside loomed judgmental. Post-reunion, life shifted. Amira's freelance picked up, focusing on inclusive marketing, channeling her experience. Anaya advocated more at work, her story inspiring clients. But backlash persisted. Anonymous hate mail, social media trolls labeling them homewreckers. Society's mirror is cruel, Amira thought, deleting comments. The moral debates intensified internally. Did we prioritize self over others? Is that ethical? A pivotal moment. Anaya's breakdown. What if we made a mistake? Dad's alone because of us. Tears streamed as Amira held her. He wasn't alone, he had a loveless marriage. We all deserved better. The reassurance helped, but doubt seeded. Amira pondered her own sacrifices, lost friends, strained family ties. The price of authenticity, worth it? They sought community, joining lesbian support groups. Stories shared. Women leaving hetero marriages, facing similar storms. You're not alone, a member said. Validation healed, but didn't erase scars. Anaya's activism grew. She spoke at events, her voice steady. Amira admired. She's turning pain into purpose. But envy tinged it. Anaya's youth allowed bolder steps. Tensions resurfaced with David's engagement announcement. Anaya reacted poorly. He's replacing us. Amira mediated a call. Be happy for him. The conversation was fraught, old wounds reopening. You two changed everything, David admitted. Anaya. Change was needed. Closure inched closer. Their relationship evolved amid trials. Dates became deeper, walks discussing dreams, futures. But intimacy waited, respect for boundaries paramount. No rush. We've paid enough. Amira's internal monologue shifted. From guilt to acceptance. This love is my truth, taboo or not. Society's pressure didn't abate. A local news piece on unconventional families featured blurred images of them, sparking debate. Supporters praised, critics condemned. Amira fielded calls, "You're brave." Or "You're sinners." The dichotomy fueled reflection. Who's right? Morality's gray. A betrayal struck unexpectedly. A friend leaked details to David's ex-colleagues, costing Anaya a promotion. They said it's a distraction, she fumed. Amira raged internally. Punished for loving? The incident highlighted systemic bias. LGBTQ+ discrimination veiled as concern. They fought back, filing complaints, turning victimhood to advocacy. Healing progressed unevenly. David invited Anaya to his wedding solo. Not ready for both, he said. Anaya declined. It's us or nothing. The stand was empowering, but lonely. Amira supported. Your choice. Inside, another fracture. As time wove on, resilience solidified. They planned a trip, escape from scrutiny. In San Francisco, amid vibrant streets, freedom tasted sweet. This could be our life, Anaya said. Amira smiled. It is. But returning home brought reality crashing. The ultimate test. Amira's family visit. Her parents arrived, tensions high. We heard rumors, her mother said. Confrontation ensued. Is it true? Amira affirmed. Yes, and I'm happy. Disapproval followed, but a seed of understanding from her father. I want your happiness. Partial victory amid loss. Anaya's growth shone. She published an article on stepfamily dynamics in LGBTQ+ contexts, raw, honest. Feedback poured. Inspiration for some, controversy for others. Amira beamed. She's blooming from the ashes. Yet doubts persisted. Late nights, Amira wondered. Was the pain necessary? Could we have chosen differently? The answers eluded, morality's maze endless. The wedding invitation sat unopened on the table, David's neat handwriting a reminder of bridges half burned. Anaya stared at it, fingers tracing the edge. If I go alone, it's like denying us. Amira nodded, her own heart heavy. Every choice echoes with consequence. They decided together. Skip it, send well wishes. The act felt like closure, but stirred fresh guilt. He's moving forward. Why can't we fully? Life stabilized in fits. Amira's business thrived, clients drawn to her authenticity. Anaya advanced, her advocacy recognized. Their home buzzed with quiet joy, shared meals, laughter echoing. But shadows lingered. Occasional calls from David strained but civil. Family gatherings avoided. Normalcy rebuilt on ruins. Society's gaze softened over time, but never fully. A pride parade. They marched hands linked, cheers drowning jeers. Empowerment surged, but exhaustion followed. Anaya confessed. Sometimes I wonder if the fight's worth it. Amira. It is for us. Internal resolve strengthened, but questions nagged. At whose expense? A surprise reconciliation. David at their door, post-wedding. I miss my daughter, he said, eyes weary. Anaya hugged him fiercely. Amira stood back, respectful. Conversation flowed tentatively, Regrets aired, understandings forged. I don't approve, but I accept, he offered. Not perfect, but progress. Amira thought. Healing demands compromise. Their bond deepened amid peace. Travels, dreams pursued. Anaya started a podcast on queer family dynamics, Amira guesting. Voices amplified, impact felt. But personal tolls surfaced. Anaya's therapy revealed abandonment fears. Amira's unpacked cultural shame. Were works in progress. High drama resurfaced with a lawsuit threat. From a distant relative, claiming moral harm. Frivolous but draining. They fought, winning but scarred. Why us? Anaya raged. Amira. Because we challenge norms. The victory bittersweet, highlighting ongoing battles. Reflection dominated quiet moments. Amira journaled. Love's path is thorny but authentic. Anaya echoed. Worth every tear. Yet ethical dilemmas persisted. Did our choices harm more than help? Debates with friends fueled growth. As years hinted at passing, though time felt suspended, their story became legend in circles. Cautionary, inspirational. They mentored others, paying forward. Fulfillment bloomed, but with asterisks. Lost connections, lingering judgments. In a sunlit cafe, anniversary marked subtly, Anaya proposed future plans. A life without hiding. Amira agreed, heartful. But the journey's scars reminded. Nothing's free. The tale closes not in resolution, but in ongoing quest. Love triumphed, but at great cost. Family fractured, society challenged, selves transformed. Was their pursuit of forbidden love a selfish betrayal? Or a courageous stand for personal truth?